Hey guys, so this morning I realized we ran out of water at the house, and thought to myself, I'm gonna go out and fill up the water dispensers, water jugs. And I got in my car and I collected all the jugs, and then I went over to the store. And the dispenser that provides all the water, it's like a few minutes away from my place, and it's like in this like sort of like open section where there's like dispenser, a bunch of other things, vending machine and stuff like that, that sort. And next to it there's a little grocery store, and how they have shopping carts and all that kind of stuff. And usually when I usually when I fill up all the jugs of water, I think to myself, I'm just gonna use the shopping cart because I think it would take too many trips anyway for me to you know and usually I use the shopping carts at the grocery store because I know it'll be a hassle for me to come back and forth if I can only carry two at the most. And as I was going to grab one of the shopping carts, I saw that this old lady was struggling. And I thought to myself, huh, how come no one's helping her? And the thing was, I heard like this commotion, I guess you could say, for the past couple of minutes. And I was like, oh, like, maybe someone's just like. I was thinking, oh, I'm sure that they'll be able to solve the situation by themselves. But I heard that it kept going on for a couple of minutes, and at the point, I was like, well, my hands are free. I'm going to get a shopping cart either way in order to get my water moved to my car. So I just went there and I helped the old lady. And and I helped her. I was able to get the shopping cart. I was stuck from inside another one. I guess this one was too big, and it went in the smaller one somehow. And it kind of made me realize that there were people around her, people who weren't occupied, people who were kind of just sitting there and not doing anything, and they could have helped her. But the second I went to go help her, they looked at me like I did something wrong. Like and here's the thing: I was taught to always respect my elders, help people. It doesn't matter what age they are, but especially help people that are older because they may need help, assistance. And I helped him, and I went on with my day. I got my water filled up, and I went home, and I realized, it felt really good being able to do some good in the world. And the thing was, usually in the mornings I wake up and I read, and I try to do my language learning during the first couple hours of the day. But today I took a different route because I just thought I might as well get some water for the family because we'll be needing it no matter what. So I might as well do it earlier, while there's no one, while the place is less occupied. And I don't know the last time I felt so fulfilled. Like, recording these YouTube videos, getting people to, come, people to like genuinely, be active in the topic of the video that I post. It feels great. It feels awesome. It feels amazing. Be able to do new things, be able to, be better at soccer, being able to read more, understand more. It feels amazing. But being able to help someone that I don't know and that I don't technically have an obligation to, it felt so good. And it made me realize that maybe the thing is that when we're out in the world, we're always stuck on our phones. We're always looking for the next dopamine rush. And if anything, if you go in the elevator, 99% of people are gonna default to their phone because we're just not. Maybe we're just too scared, or. And I think it's that people have become too scared to really engage in conversation. I think that the internet really has a stranglehold on all of us. Technology, and I understand that smartphones are going to be a must in the future, and if anything, they are a must now. They are required in order to, like, I guess, sort of survive in the world, especially to contact people for in case of emergencies. But and I think society has become so individualistic. We all only care about ourselves, and maybe you might have a couple of friends and family, but at the end of the day, we're all just watching out for ourselves and our own peace. And I think to a certain degree that's respectable, and if anything, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of hatred and suffering in the world, but there's also a lot of love and kindness you can provide to people or receive. And being able to help someone with no desire of wanting something else in return, whether it's money or like a like candy or something. And there's literally no sort of compensation for me helping her, but yeah, at the end of the day, I felt that I had to do something. And you know I think having that social interaction, if anything, that kindness is something that's sort of starting to become a bit more rare now, where everyone is so wary and paranoid about their own safety and what's happening in their surroundings. And I think the issue with that is just that we've become so like locked into the phones, with news and all that kind of stuff, and the news are just oversaturated and mostly, if anything, only posts about the worst kind of things, atrocities that humans could do, whether it's murder or something worse than that. And I think to a certain degree, it is okay for us to be skeptical about the person right next to us. But I think at the end of the day, we can't live in this world with fear. And if anything, we can't live in this world with fear of other people and in hate for maybe a certain minority, because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all want to be happy and we all want the best for other people. And if we aren't able to lend a hand to someone else and expect nothing in return, then I think at that point our society is starting to crumble. I think we as a people need to be working together as a collective, because that's how we were able to survive for so many millennia. We already have businesses, these multi-billion-dollar businesses who are already against us, trying to take every amount of dollar that we earn and trying to pay us the least that they possibly can. And now that they're turning people against each other because they're outsourcing jobs to other people who can do the same amount of work, same effort, but a lot less pay. That if anything, we are just nothing to them, and that we are just a statistic at the end of the day. If we were to take, and I think the more that we continue this, the more that we're going to suffer. And seeing as that mental health is something that's become sort of an ignored topic, and is only starting to become now more, I guess, quote unquote, mainstream, and a more of a issue that's talked about in modern day. I think that we should be able to go out there. At the end of the day, humans are social creatures, and you know what? I myself, I'm not a good speaker. I'm an introvert. I'm going to be completely honest. I have nothing to hide about that, and if anything, I'm sure I would struggle to speak to someone, in an elevator. But at the end of the day, it's nice to know, just to know someone that I don't have to fear them. I don't have to believe that they might kill me or something. At the end of the day, I don't know anything about this person next to me, and maybe one day they'll help me. Maybe they'll save my life. Who knows them? And I'm not saying to be this altruistic and perfect person. I'm genuinely not. But I just want to share my experience of being able to help someone and what that made me feel, especially someone who started to distance themselves from other people, because I feared the rejection of other people, and I didn't want to be seen as an outcast and, if anything, alien to the people that I thought were my friends. But now I'm an adult and I have to get out there, present myself in a professional manner, and work a shit job. But at the end of the day, those little moments, those once in a blue moon moments of helping someone just cause, those genuinely feel amazing and fuel my life for the next day and week and months. At the end of the day, you are what you feed your mind, and if we continue to distance ourselves from other people who are nothing different from us, people who may have different skin color, speak different languages, at the end of the day, we're all the same thing. We're all humans, and we need to be able to connect with each other and at least understand that, and understand that we can help each other, that we aren't alone, and people can do good. And surprisingly, we can do good with no ulterior motives. Thank you for watching.